We got Tim Cohee on the line right here. We've been talking about the resorts, Tim, and I know China Peak opened and Bear Valley opened. Are these open during the weekday or just the weekend?
Well, right now, Sean, there isn't a ton happening during the week.
Okay.
So because you don't have the base of people like you have in Lake Tahoe to make it make sense. The only resort open during the week would be China Peak, which is open on Friday.
Cool.
And mainly the reason why they're open is because they happen to have better terrain open right now. So Bear Valley will be the weekend. Dodge Ridge will probably open back up in the weekend. And China Peak has some of its it's the best, the trail that everybody likes the most at China Peak is called a run called Kaiser, and that's actually open right now. So a lot of its best terrain is happening right now. I've been talking a lot about snowmaking. I thought I'd touch on a couple of subjects regarding snowmaking. Back in the day, snowmaking was really reserved for people who everyone thought the resorts that didn't get enough natural snow, so they had to have snowmaking. And of course, in Southern California, that's always the case. It's like the East, the Midwest, and Southern California are the three parts of the country, and we're talking hundreds and hundreds of ski areas in those regions. They all have been snowmakers for 50, 60 years because they had to. In Southern California, it just doesn't snow that much at all, so they make snow to supplement. In the East and Midwest, they get the freeze and the thaw, So it'll be fantastic snowmaking, great snow, and all of a sudden it'll rain cats and dogs, so they have to recover. So they've always had these big systems. Okay. The big snowmaking systems, the last place you saw those were basically in the West at the big resorts, mainly Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
So while some resorts made snow years ago, like you mentioned the other day, Diamond Peak was the first one to make snow. Those are really small systems back then. The first really big system in the Tahoe area was Heavenly. And that was even back in the 1980s when Bill Killebrew saw the fact that, someday it's not going to snow that much in Lake Tahoe. And then, of course, that led the watershed. And now everybody. So people go to places like Jackson Hole or Vail or Snowbird or Alton, these big time skiers like, oh, they don't, they get all this snow. They don't make snow. They all make snow. Everybody's making snow these days because, look, you can't rely on it. If all of a sudden you get to Christmas, which is the Super Bowl of the ski business, you have to have snow on the ground. And the second thing I want to mention is the ability to have a nice lunch at a ski area is very unique in California. It happened if you go to Deer Valley or some of these places, you can have a sit-down, table service lunch at a lot of major resorts. One of the few places that do that here in California is Sugar Bowl because they have a very famous the old Inn at Sugar Bowl, and there's a place called the Belt Bar. And if you want to have a great day of skiing, of course, the skiing's really good there at Sugar Bowl because it's very high up. But I was just there the other day looking around at fans because we're building a home over there at the beautiful Donner Lake. Nice. So we hung out over there at that facility, and it's really, really fun to hang out. So if you want to take the break and you don't want to sit at a sort of a lodge, but you want to have a sit-down lunch and actually have service and all that, check out the Belt Bar at Sugar Bowl. It's really a fun spot.
That sounds awesome. I think that's the whole experience, right? On the mountain, in the pub. That's a great one, man. Thanks for sharing that great insight. Cool. I appreciate it. I'm sure you'll be there from time to time.